So 4 things demonstrated in this video. Connect your Cisco routers in GNS3 to the real-world network. Set up your router's clock to synchronize with an external NTP server and to also set up the time zone. Set up your router's logging to an external syslog server. And this is the fun part: set up your router's config changes so that any command entered after a configured terminal is automatically logged to your syslog server and also to your router's memory. Let's get started. Opening up GNS3. New project. I'll enter the name for the project as first video, since it is my first video. I'll add 2 routers. I'll configure both routers so that they have in slot 1 a fast Ethernet module, and in WIC 0 I will add serial module. Same thing with the other router. The fast Ethernet module in slot 1 is what I'll be using to connect to the internet, to the external network. I'll connect fast Ethernet 0/0 on R1 to the same module, to the same interface on R2. I'll add the cloud, which is basically the external network. I'll also add a switch so that I can connect my cloud and R1 and R2's F1/0 interface to the switch so that they can all be connected to the external network with that switch. Very important to choose the right network card over here. My local area connection is the one that is physically connected to the outside world, so that's the one I'm going to add. I'll connect R1's F1/0's interface to the switch. Port 1, same thing on R2. I'll add it to port 2. Any port will do. For the cloud, I'm just choosing port 8. You can choose anything, it doesn't matter. Switch on the routers. Console, connect to all devices. Basically configuring interface F1/0, fast Ethernet F1/0 with the IP address 192.168.2.202 with the /24 subnet on R2. My home Subnet is 192.168.2.0/24. Same thing on R1. On interface F1 fast Ethernet 1/0, I've added the IP address of 192.168.2.201/24. Just double checking that it is up. Fast Ethernet 1/0. I should be able to ping my gateway. Let's see if I can ping somewhere outside, like a public IP address. That is a public IP address, I know. I think that is the wrong IP address, but I know that I definitely cannot ping outside my local area network. Ping 202, which is router 2, that should work. Copy that, paste that over to R2, change it to 201, ping, works perfectly fine. Basically setting up a default route to the outside network, and my default gateway has 192.168.2.1 IP domain lookup, so that whatever domain name I type does get translated to an IP address. And IP name server, I'm using Google's DNS server. So if I type in ping yahoo.ca, it translates it to an IP address and actually pings Yahoo. Same thing with google.ca. And there we go. Next step is to set up the time zone and the NTP servers so that our router's clock is synchronized with the external NTP servers provided by ntp.org. Time zone space EST-5, pretty self-explanatory. It's basically setting the time zone on the router to Eastern Standard Time -5. It hasn't done any new associations, which is why it's not it hasn't associated to an NTP server, but now it has. It says master sync, so the clock should be synchronized now. Show clock, yeah, it is 11:30 at night, March 1st. Copy, paste the same configuration over onto R1. Show NTP associations. It should be synced soon. Let's do show clock and see if there. It has been synchronized. So NTP is set up now. Both R1 and R2 are connecting to outside NTP servers provided by ntp.org. Next step is to set up the timestamps so that they show up properly in our syslog server. Shouldn't say properly, it's more of a personal preference. Log is Service timestamps log is where the syslog server is, and that's where this preference would apply. Debug is when you do a debug on your console. It's setting the preferences for that. Logging count is every packet that is sent to the syslog server is actually counted and kept a track of. So the first packet sent to the syslog server is packet 1. Second packet that is sent to a syslog server is packet 2, and so on and so forth. Logging trap 7. Let me first copy and paste this into R1. Logging trap and then question mark. It's basically what detail level will be logged. Alert severity 1, critical conditions on the router. So it's basically how much of the information will be logged to the syslog server. I like everything to be logged since it is a syslog server. Nothing will be stored on the router itself, so I will do logging trap 7. Save everything to the syslog server. Logging origin ID host name. Everything that is sent to the syslog server will have the host name R1 along with it. So just by looking at the syslog message, you can see where it was sent from. And that is the actual syslog server's IP address. Logging and then the syslog server IP address. That should turn on the syslog server. I think it's show logging. There. 2 messages logged. 2 messages have been sent to the syslog server. That is the server where they have been sent to, and UDP port 514. R2, I'm gonna copy and paste the entire configuration. Logging should have been started on R2 also. There. Logging to host 192.168.2.49, CLI initiated, 2 messages have been sent to the syslog server. Two messages have been sent. This is the syslog server for R1. That's the old stuff, ignore that. This is the new stuff that just arrived right now. Configured from console by console. And the CLI initiated. There. So 11:30:49 to 2.49 CLI initiated. So 11:30:49, you will see there 11:30. Well, that's the other one, 49 there. CLI initiated. Same time span as the one displayed in the router. (11:30:48) is the 11:30:48 is the configured from console by console message also. R2 will display the same thing. 11:31:25. 11:31:25 configured from console by console. 11:31:26 will be the CLI initiated. CLI initiated 11/31/26. Next, this is the fun part. Super interesting. Logging off every command to the syslog server. So anything that is entered after configure terminal, any command that is entered after configure terminal should be sent to syslog server. So what to log in the archive? Basically log configuration changes. That's what we want to do. Logging enable is what is actually going to enable the logging, otherwise nothing will be stored in the archive. How many commands should be stored in the archive? 50. So if I do a show archive, something like a show archive command, up to 50 configuration changes will be showed. And notify syslog is the command that actually sends all the config changes to the syslog server. Any passwords that you enter during your configuration changes will be hidden if you have hide keys. If you don't have hide keys, I mean anyone going through your syslog server can see any commands that have your SNMP community string or any passwords. They can easily read it. Hide keys hides that in the configuration history in the archive, and also does not send, well, I think asterisks it out in the syslog server. There, logged command notify syslog, logged command hide keys. So since notify syslog was the command that actually turned on the notification to the syslog, I think we will only see notify syslog, logged command notify syslog in our syslog server. I'm gonna switch it on for R1 also. I'm going to quickly set up EIGRP between R1 and R2 using the F0/0 interface on R1 and the same interface on R2. I'm actually doing a voiceover since the original recording was voice recording was pretty bad, so you can see I'm almost narrating this. I've actually recorded this video before and I'm narrating on top of it. So configure terminal interface 0/0. I don't think you need any explanation here. I'm just going to configure the IP addresses for the F0/0 interface for R1. And then I'm going to switch on the routing configuration, the router EIGRP1, the network command to enable it on that interface, specifically on that interface. I'm using the IP addresses 192.168.25.1, 25.1, 25.2, and it's /30 network. Same thing on R2, interface F0/0, IP address on R2's interface F0/0 is going to be 192.168.25.2 with a /30. No shut, and router EIGRP1 network command to activate it on F0/0's interface. Wildcard mask off. /30. No auto summary there. So all my commands that I've entered are going to appear in my syslog server as logged command. Show IP IGRP topology, since I only have one network, but just letting you know that EIGRP is up and running, and all what I have entered should be showing up in the syslog server. And there we go. User refreshing the syslog server, but basically user console logged command, no auto summary. All what I've entered: network, router, no shutdown. Nice. Notify syslog. So these commands did not show up, but as soon as I hit notify syslog, including that command was sent to the syslog server, including the notify syslog. So pretty cool. Same thing over to on R1. So every command that has been entered now on R1 and R2 will be logged to a syslog server. This is awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.